happy Sunday, and thank you for joining Odie's Pop-Up Kitchen. I'm Odie, and today we're going to do some salt fish, codfish, depending on where you're from and what you call it. So I've washed this with some water to get the excess salt off of it, and we're going to do it with butter bean. So we're making saltfish, codfish, and butter bean, and I'm just using 3 simple ingredients: tomatoes, onions, and peppers. Now these are my peppers that I bought. Because I always have a lot of peppers, I freeze them, some of them. I keep some fresh and I freeze some of them because I don't want it to go bad, and they will go bad quickly. So I'm using one of my frozen ones today. Simple ingredient, I'm gonna cook it up with some oil, vegetable oil or corn oil, salt, no salt, pepper, and some ketchup, and my butter bean. And we're gonna do this. It's quick, it's simple. I have some water boiling. I'm gonna show you the pot in a minute. So this is my boiling water. As you can see, it's bubbling up. I'm just gonna add my saltfish to it. Again, the saltfish is washed. I took off the excess salt off of it. And I'm not gonna cover this because it will boil over easily. Once it starts to boil up again, just turn it on a medium heat and leave it there. Do not cover the pot because it will boil over and mess up your stove, and then you have excess work. Once this is done, I'm gonna boil it for about 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna taste it just to see if I get all the salt out of it. If not, I'm gonna pour off that water and add some more and probably boil it for another 5 minutes, and that's it. Okay, so I've washed my codfish, saltfish, depending on what you want to call it. I'm cooking saltfish and butter beans. So here's my butter bean. They were in the can. All I did was rinse them off, and here they are. Now, I boiled my codfish, I washed them and boiled it for 15 minutes, and I tasted it. It was still a little bit salty. I poured off the water from that and then added some more fresh water and boiled it for another 5 minutes. Normally when I was growing up, my grandmother would break it apart like this, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna put it in the pot because this is not the regular codfish that I'm used to with the bone. This is the fillet. Once it gets in the pot and by turning it, it falls apart. So I have my pot here. It's getting hot. And I'll show you, I'm gonna put some oil in it. I have some dumplings that are frying over here. I have excess oil. So instead of using new oil, I'm gonna use some of the oil from the dumplings into the pot for the codfish. Like I said before, I have excess oil in my fried dumpling, and I have a fried dumpling video. It's gonna be posted just before this one, so you'll see how I make the flour. All I'm doing is I take my pot and I'm pouring the oil in it. The pot is hot, but I'm using a pot that the handle doesn't carry the heat. If I left it here, I would just bring it close enough to the other pot and spoon it in so it doesn't get on my stove. And I don't want to clean up no unnecessary mess. And the reason why I'm doing this is because you don't want to you don't want to waste oil. You don't want to waste anything. And the oil is still good. As you can see, it's clear. And it's just dumplings. If it was like chicken oil, I would not reuse it. I would pour it out. So the pot was already hot. I'm just gonna let the oil get a little bit hotter. And then I'm going to first add my tomatoes. Now I want you to take a look at this. It's just onions. I have a whole onion, a whole scotch bonnet pepper. I kept out most of the seeds because the seeds is where the heat comes from. And I have the tomato, onion, and a whole pepper. All I'm going to do is add it into this. Now, when I feel the temperature of this, it's not hot enough. So I'm gonna wait maybe 2 more minutes. I turned up the heat. Then I'm gonna drop it in there. It's not hot enough. So I'm gonna wait. There you go. Now I'm gonna add it all in there. And you wanna hear it sizzle. I'm gonna let this come together for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to add my codfish. So for 5 minutes, this is going to be here. You can leave it open or you can cover it. As for me, I am going to cover it, and we'll be back. My onion, tomato, and pepper, scotch bonnet. Now, some people would add some sweet bell pepper in it, or even some thyme. I don't do that. I just like my food very simple and basic. And sometimes you don't have these stuff in your house. you use what you have. You know, why go out of your way to get something else when you can just utilize what you have and it tastes just the same. So here we are. We're gonna stir this in. And I'm just gonna break it up this way. We're gonna cover this and let it simmer. And I feel this needs a little bit more oil. So I'm gonna grab my spoon from over here and I'm gonna add the oil. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this simmer for another 5 to 7 minutes. Then I'm going to add a little ketchup, some black pepper, and some and my butter beans. So we're gonna cover now, and then I'll show you the last step, and then we're done. Okay, so I've given it 7 minutes, and this is the saltfish, codfish, onion, tomato, pepper. Now I'm going to add some ketchup to it. And I'm also going to add, ooh, I spilled it, some black pepper. Now I need some more black pepper, so I'm gonna add that. We're gonna mix it in together. See, I'm not left-handed and I tried to use my left hand. It didn't work out very well. I'm gonna stir this. And our last step, now there's no right or wrong way. You could have put the pepper first or the ketchup first. You could have also put the butter bean before, but I'm going to add my butter bean last. Now this is 2 cans, so I'm going to use about 1.5 for it. You could have used the 2 cans, but I don't want the beans to dry out my codfish. And you just break it apart. Now I'm going to let it simmer for a couple more minutes and cover it. And we're done. Give it about, let's say, 4 to 5 more minutes, and we're done. Fish and butter bean, saltfish and butter bean, depending on what you want to call it, it's done. We're gonna plate it with the fried dumpling and making some ripe plantains over here, and that's to be added to it. So I'll show you the plating and everything when I'm done. So we're done. We made codfish, saltfish, and butter bean. And I have another video that I did the fried dumpling in it, and you'll see that. But I did make some fried dumpling. I also have a video with the cornmeal porridge. So it's Sunday morning, and I wanted to make breakfast, something hearty, and you know, you just want to feel good. So I made some codfish. So let me explain how I made the codfish. You can call it codfish or saltfish. I boiled it. I washed it first. Then I boiled it in some water. I tasted it in about 15 minutes just to see if the salt is out of it, because it can be very salty. For me, it wasn't, it was too salty, so I poured off that water and I added some fresh water in the pot with the codfish. I boiled it for another 5 minutes. When I tasted it again, it was perfectly good. I drained that water and I let it sit. Then I got my skillet with some oil. I used some of the oil from what I was using in the fried dumpling. You don't have to do that. You can just get some fresh oil, vegetable oil, canola, or corn oil. Then I added my onion, my tomato, and my scotch bonnet to that. Once that came together, I added the codfish. Then I added my black pepper, ketchup, and my butter bean. I let it all, stir it together and let it sit there for about 5 minutes, and then it was ready. This is the end result. Codfish with butter bean, or you can call it salted fish with butter bean. The kind that I use is the fillet, the ones that you don't have to pick the bones out of. And this is the cornmeal porridge. Like I said, you will see a video later with the cornmeal porridge and the fried dumpling as well. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate every click, like, share, and subscription. So I'm asking you that you continue to support this journey that I'm on. I really hope that you try these recipes. They're quick and they're easy and simple and delicious too. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to Odie's Pop-Up Kitchen. See you soon.